about West Nile region, our different, of course, statements here and there that probably pushed in a lot of stakeholding, of course, discussion that came through to see that the West Nile football gets to a better level as we hosted Mr. Ayub Kamis, one of the members who sits in the DC or the CPD over the region, and a lot of things that probably did show excitement from a different, because I saw the reaction. Other people called me after the show. They're like, yes, I think this is what we need to. I've seen already blames coming here and there on certain individuals in the West Nile region FA, but all in all, I don't want to say that that is one of the biggest things, because sometimes different people speak on personal basis and others. So you need to weigh the two and make sure that things work. But all in all, it's the Whistle Time live on West Nile Television. Another interesting day probably to talk about different sporting disciplines, is starting from the region and then of course to the nationals and the internationals. One of the biggest happens to be internationally, where of course you did see Arsenal probably as going past the team of Chelsea Football Club with 5 goals. Of course, a weaker Chelsea, I should say, yesterday that couldn't really overturn or get any over the goals from Arsenal's Emirates Stadium. And now, of course, in the Formula One, you did also see the man by the names of Lewis Hamilton, who is linked with the move to, that is, Ferrari. He will be signing, of course, a juicy deal or a sponsorship deal that will be seeing him crossover from Mercedes to Ferrari after he had signed a 2-year deal with Mercedes to take him up to 2025. So 2025, you would be seeing him cross over to Ferrari for a new deal that will be coming there. So the endorsement deal is so nice and juicy. Of course, it will be one of the biggest in that is the Formula One. And locally here, a lot of games are coming during the weekend, a lot of things that are coming through. We shall be also talking about right here. So welcome and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Owen. Thank you so much for hosting the show. Good afternoon, viewers. We are already in the house at 2 to 3, a Whistle Time, and locally, 4th League Division games came to a close-up. That was yesterday, where we saw Niva going out to Daystar. And the Tiger Stars, and they did beat them 3-0, and they get to survive relegation. And then on that table log, of course, Mission finishes last, and Vara, surprisingly, Vara boys that literally started, I think, the season very late. They only played the second round. We didn't see them play the first round of the season, and they finished second on that table, surprisingly as well. And also, somewhere in a regional league, we did see Leah yesterday traveling to Padea to take in a fixture there. And then today, Pakwach Youngsters travels to Pajobi to take them on the game. If they win today, they will get very close to the Black Angels, and the only point difference will be 2 points. And the game is today, 4 p.m. We will be following very closely.
All right. Of course, that's one big game that we should be following, just like she said, because it's one of the games that we keep giving you every day. But I just did give you an information about, I think we talked about it or gave a highlight about the date probably that we shall to give. Now, I can confirm to you that the biggest of the kingdoms in West Nile, that organizes every time what is called the King's Cup. This time around, it's bringing in the Queen Mother. Exactly. So it is coming, and the Kopopo Mino Bimu will be in Pakwach. I can confirm to you, as West Nile TV will also be part of that, to give you all what is coming up from that side. Probably give you also the game live. We shall be broadcasting the game live for you to see that you be part of it. But all in all, I just wanted to confirm to you that the date is going to be 17th and 18th. So 2 days event that will be right there. And this still, we talked about it in length. One of these days, we shall be getting one of the representatives from, that is the kingdom, or the Keralur kingdom, and will be coming here to give us a few of what the plan is like How exactly is it going to look like? What are we expecting from this? And of course, the purpose of this game that will be coming in there. Remember, I've told you different occasions we've covered these games, and you've seen that the theme seems to be one thing to talk about, because the theme is one that will always give you appetite to make sure that you participate in this. And I always keep reminding or encouraging the rest of the kingdoms to also be part, because the rest of the kingdoms are to be part of this, because it is one sign of trying to bridge up. Two, that means the kingdom really is doing a lot in the region by, of course, sensitizing, bringing together. Because the last one you did see about a teenage pregnancy, maybe this, I'm here to find out the theme of this year's, but you would see that it is going to be now a lot, because one, now the ladies category is going to be there. You will also be having the Kopopo Bimo, where you will also see the boys category. And this time around, I love the way it was broken down, that every how do they call them, the clans in a different in the kingdom participate. The Jonam, the Padier, you seeing them come together, and this gives at least in fact, every person in the king that is in the kingdom or in the kingdomship feels like, yes, we've been represented, and this is where we went off. And I've loved the way that the last time they really tried so much to see that clubs with, people with their licenses, trying to eliminate them a bit. And you would see that those players that are already in the elite were not so much allowed to play. And a few of them who wanted to sneak here and there, the management was so strong. But this time around, I think, why I was happy with this is because it limited that, and we really, for someone who is a scout, would go down deep to see that this is maybe where I can also poach and get a player. We've seen the different clubs in the Greater Nebi. They have gotten different players in their vicinity. Now, that shows you that what does this mean? That means the local person down there who is hidden, the local talent that is hidden, is also unearthed to see that these games expose different talents. We've seen the bicycle race. For those who have never been in the bicycle races, it has happened. We've seen the football that has happened now. This time around, the girls' football, the netball. You're going to be seeing a lot of activities that is, of course, coming through. So I believe it is one thing I really want to give a plus to, because they have kept the consistency. The consistency means that the people involved, or the people who headlined this, have made it a success. We've seen they have always gotten different partners who come on board, and that is one big achievement that you will see. Why are these partners not wanting to go away? That means they get the value of what they want from these things. So that's one thing that we are expecting, but maybe this time around. Do you have an legacy that side so that you can also play?
Lembema ONB wechu kakai tienia duimu binu no akopopa minubemu uchiti mere akopopa minubemu this time around uchiti bedi pakwach pa oru mukadu no kopopa ubedu kopopo bemu. En kopopo bimuno na ngutimerekani iluo grounds in Nebi ento pa oruma egi betere ipakwacho aduimu binu no akopopa minu bimu uchiti mere ipakwacho wajolu ucheke ni ubini ento activities neki chibedu 2 days on the 18th 17th and 18th yeah pa duimu binu no pa danu mokumu uchi bedu unavailable wa wachunia activities muchiti mereno umbedu maybe ringu gare gi sakre sangonde gi tiktiki gi chibedu kacha ento activities no de gi chibedu live West Nile TV de be chibeni pakwach asama kopo pamino bimuno be chiti mere. So every other activity that is going to happen, literally I'm trying to say that it's all going to be covered live on West Nile TV. So come along, every other person from the greater Luru sub-region will be in Pakwach next month.
All right, I think that's one of the biggest thing you should be talking about. But it's going to be one of the achievements I probably should be getting to, because it is always there, and I want to thank that is the Luru Kingdom for that, because every time West Nile Television is also involved in this, we make sure that yes, what is there. I was rewatching what happened in the previous edition that was at Luo Grounds, and tried following a few of the clips and seeing how exactly it was, and really it was a glorious one. So this time round we're expecting a lot, and probably the turn up should be massive. I believe it always has sense that it pumps in the people that this is, of course, to go to. I'll find more about the theme and the rest, because we still have up to that is 17th, 18th to talk about all this. But the road will be leading to Pakwach. So people of Pakwach, you should be getting ready. The Nang Nangs should be there, so that we can also come and feast on that. But all in all, it's going to be amazing one, I believe, right there. Now, the Federation of Uganda Football Association, FUFA, has come up with a statement this morning about some games. Around 2 games will be played at Nambole to have a test of the pitch, which has become so controversial of late. A lot of talks about the team, but you would see that Nambole Stadium is looking wow. Though CAF had said there are still certain things lacking. The team or the stadium was not ready to host international games. So we shall be waiting to see what comes. But the coming games will be, of course, a game of KCCA and
will take on Villa.
Villa, yes, and then Bull takes on Viper Sports Club.
On
So at 4 p.m., a game between that is KCCA and Villa will be played at Nambole Stadium. And then you will be seeing at 7, that is under floodlights, you will see Bull, the table leaders, of course, racing it out with yes, they are the table leaders, but of course their followers, that is Vipers, who are also so close to them. So they will be battling it out at Nambole Stadium and of course floodlights. What are you anticipating in these 2 games? And of course, it will feel like a new ground to everyone.
There is actually a press conference that is going on at there is a FUFA House, and this press conference is in relation to the double header that is supposed to take place at Mandela National Stadium to actually see to it to test there is a Mandela National Stadium to see if they are ready to host there is international games. And one of the games, like Owen has said, is KCCA taking on there is a Villa. Meanwhile, the game between Bull and Vipers Soccer Club will be on 1st May, literally a few days from now. Today is the 24th. So basically, the one which will take place today is going to be KCCA hosting in a Villa there, and this is going to be a very big one to actually see to it if Mandela National Stadium is quite very ready to host in international games, because there are a lot of controversies that literally have come up, and I think they want to prove that we are good to go and we are set, much as there are a lot of issues that are still coming, that this place is not yet ready. There are a few things that need to be worked on here and there. But if you look at it from an outside set, you'd actually get to realize that and see and maybe say that this place now is okay to host games and all that. But the officials that went in there to assess said that no, this place is not yet so ready to host in games. So I think for that case, they are doing in a test that actually they want to see and ascertain that the place is very ready to even host international games. Yeah,
it's a very big one. Of course, this is going to be one big thing between Federation and that is the Uganda Premier League manager, Paul. Of course, Kabikarum, who has been one big name. They confirmed the 4 teams. That means they first had to speak to these teams. I believe also the teams will be ready to see that they get themselves in there. But we'll be seeing a challenge with this because a few teams, it will be like a new place for them. Yeah, new place for them. And being new means that the teams will have to make sure that things, they will need to acclimatize to the environment, because this time around the grass or the surface will be so different from the normal ones that they have been playing in. If it is an artificial turf, which I don't think it is because it's natural grass that was planted, you can't play on all these games are not played on artificial turfs according to the CAF. They want natural grass, and the natural grass is going to be, so you'll be having different fields because there are different textures of these grasses every time it's planted. So I believe they will have a challenge. I saw yesterday a video clip moving around about trending, in fact, about the sprinkling, how the grass and how current this current stadium looks like. But you would say it's a good one because they'll be playing on a standard ground. But the challenge only comes to now adapting to that.
Exactly.
Because it's going to be the first time. I think maybe they're going to give them a chance to go and train there. I don't know.
They should. They should, by the way.
Because
they need
for
to
you
be given
to know, to learn the pitch, and that is one big thing.
To get used to the grass and all that. They literally need to be given time, by the way, to train in there before the game days. Because if they're only taken there to honor in the fixture, trust me, we'll be seeing in a lot of things happening that we don't expect from even the people that we rate as the best players Uganda has.
Yeah, true. So around 17 billion was, of course, given to complete the work, so which, of course, the government of Uganda gave to make sure that this work was complete. I remember they were given 2 weeks to report back to Parliament about how this is, how far with the standards. So we're waiting to see whether that will be one big one. But FUFA is also fighting so hard to see that this at least gets to completion before the day, because FUFA is hoping to host the FIFA World Cup qualifiers here in Uganda. They have a game against Botswana, they have a game against Algeria, and all these games are coming in June. So before June, these things should be ready to make sure that it is to the standard of the game. So that's one big thing that is coming, as of course different teams are also, maybe we shall be seeing also more different teams to come and have the feel of the grounds, because it's maybe others will say why only Vipers and KCC and the Bull are right there. So it's one big thing. But all in all, when we leave that aside, there's also a big one from the world of crickets, where of course the Victoria Pearls team is also trying so much to see that things go their way. And the Victoria Pearls this time around in an intense preparation for, that is the global qualifiers, with of course 2 warm-up games that they are going to be playing. One of them would be against of course the team of Vanuatu women's team, and then of course there's also that against a UAE women team that is going to be there. The team Victoria Pearls has been doing very good. You saw in the recent Olympic Games where they also had at least medals that they came up with. So they are preparing, because this is where they qualified for the games. So the global qualifiers is one big one that they are going for. What are we expecting from our own Victoria Pearls?
It's quite a very huge one from Victoria Pearls, and if you look at their head-on participations in the previous games, you literally see that in the first game they played with Vanuatu, they did beat them actually by 35 runs, and then when they also took on the UAE, they won by 9 wickets in there. So literally, I would say when it comes to the Victoria Pearls, they've always gone there, they've always beaten all the opponents. So basically, preparing in for all these global qualifiers, it's quite a very huge one for them, and I would put a plus on them and not doubt them, because basically they have batted in first in both games after winning in the toss, and so they always go there and come back as winners. When it comes to cricket, we've always seen our girls, even we've always seen our team, even at secondary school levels, even at primary school levels, nationals, international games and all that. They always go in there to the fixtures and come back as winners. So literally, going in for the global qualifiers, I am expecting a very huge one from, that is the Victoria Pearls.
Well, let's wait and see what exactly will be coming out from the Victoria Pearls right there. But all in all, we did also see games that were played in the Uganda Premier League, where you did see Vipers against Maroons, where they were held in there, of course held in a draw. Maroons seems to be so stubborn, and this time round, by the Vipers was at home.
Vipers was at home. There was one interview I was following from Rothumio, who is one of the players of Maroons. I think the journalist who was trying to interview him was like, Vipers is a very huge team, and you people are visiting them, they are home and all that. We're expecting a very huge defeat and all that. He literally composed himself and said, Vipers is only a club name, just like Maroons. But the players at Vipers are also like them, who are the players at Maroons. So basically there is no huge difference in there. They all play the same league, they all have good players, they all have names. The Vipers is a club name, the other side, whereas theirs in Luzira is Marine. So basically holding in Vipers to a draw is quite a very huge one for me, because Vipers, I think, yeah, Vipers came in with the first goal in there, and then Maroons basically came through and kept them at a draw and leveled matters, and we saw it ending like that. We saw them sharing in spoils in there. So basically, it was quite a very huge one for the both teams.
Just not an easy game it was. Of course,
it was
that
a very
means
tough one, yeah.
Vipers scored through Milton Karisa, and later on, an own goal from, that is Hilary Mukundani, who of course got into the west side that goal because of the too much pressure that was piling on Vipers Sports Club. But that does not stop them from, of course, going to the summit. They ascended to, that is the top of the league table, of course being now the number ones right there. And Bull Football Club is behind them, of course pushing also hard to see that things work out. And today, being of course one of the biggest days, 24th of this month, you will be expecting also games that will be coming right through in the Uganda Premier League, with of course Chitara going to Express Football Club. A tough encounter to talk about for Express, because Kitara has been so much in dominance after of course testing Vipers, and I think their last loss was against Vipers. Now they will have to look for ways to make sure that they get in there. Of course, this is the time to see how the team will be pushing. I remember Brian Senyondo saying being in this team has been one key thing, but of course the team needs to do a lot to make sure that they get to where they want to be. They're not bad off, they should be at number 3, but still they feel they can become champions over, that is the Star Times Uganda Premier League. Now that will be around 60 millions for, that is the number 1 according to the prize money for number 1 in the Uganda Premier League. Express against Chitara, how intense will you see this game?
Position number 3 playing in against position number 8. It's going to be a very tough one. First of all, Chitara have literally brought themselves in this league as a very huge club. From both the fan base up to the management, up to the players themselves. So basically, any team that comes to play against that is Chitara goes in with some fear factor, because one, they are beating in literally all teams. They are beating in even giants, the teams that we rate here as giants. So I think recently they lost to there is Vipers in a very controversial game, in that they are the same side that eliminated Vipers from there is a Stanbic Uganda Cup. So Vipers went in there to of course revenge after a lot of threats of not honoring the fixture here and then all that. So basically I think Chitara coming to play Express, they will be seeing to it if they can revive back their winning ways, because they lost to Vipers at home. That was something
in fact,
they
if you
didn't
look at
expect.
their statistics right now, that will be like around the 3rd time that they're losing. So that means they are seeking for, that is redemption, to see that they get in there. But again, it's against a tricky Express, who anytime can do anything, because they
Exactly,
will be
when they are
at
home.
Wankulukuku Stadium,
Yeah.
Mutesa too. That is a very tough game to see.
We've seen them hold a lot of giants at Wankulukuku, also at a draw, sharing spoils. So
Yeah, so we're waiting. The Paul Muchurezis, the Dennis Omedis should up their game in case they really want to seek for that resurgency or the redemption. And we are waiting to see how this comes. But it's going to be a tough game because if you look at the positioning, how the teams are, they are 44 points. That is Gitara. 32 is that is Express. Because after yesterday's game, they went to number 9. And that gives you what exactly the team has to do to make sure that they don't go to the red zone, because the red zone is so close to them after, of course, a few teams that are off, like Rua Hill, and you're seeing already UPDF and Gaddafi fighting so hard to see that they don't really need to get there. So it's so challenging, but Express have won 2 of that is their past 3 games against, of course, Kitara, and that league has been one of the biggest to talk about. So they will want to come and see that can we really still continue with this, because it is one big thing that we need to see right there. Bekamboa and the team will all be in pressure to see that this win is a must for them. So let's wait and see how that comes out right today at 4 p.m. Elsewhere, you'll also be seeing a Uganda Premier League also still ongoing with, of course, the resurgent team of Bull also facing with, of course, NEC Football Club as I talk, because that is one big thing that we are also seeing through right there. So at Philip Omondi Stadium, 7 p.m. we shall be waiting to see how that comes as Bull makes a trip to, of course, Philip Omondi Stadium, and that's going to be a tough game to decide because Wednesday is also so tricky for some teams every time. So what are we seeing from today's game? Because it's a Bull taking on NEC Football Club.
It's going to be a very huge one. Position number 1 taking on position number 5. I will literally know that a NEC has been a headache to most of the teams that literally didn't expect. There are teams that have lasted in UPL, and NEC has just made an entry this season. So basically, they have been there. They know the experiences, plus the people they're dealing with, the players, the coaches, and all that. And Bull is also one tough team, very slippery, very tricky, that also wants to show to the rest of the clubs in UPL that, yeah, we have been there. This time around, you joke around with us, we will carry all the trophies in. There is a Stanbic Uganda Cup and also UPL. So it's going to be a very huge one for NEC. We've literally seen NEC slipping in points into the hands of teams that we don't expect. So basically, it's going to be a very huge one for Team NEC. It's going to be a very tough one for there is a NEC.
Yeah, as we take a break, I just want to give you that Bull Football Club, by the way, got back to winning ways in the right way, or right time, because they had gotten to what is called to see that they win consecutively, even winning against Vipers. But right now, as I talk, they are level in 46 points with Vipers Sports Club, and Vipers defeats them in goal differences right there. But NEC have slid a bit because they are at number 5. They used to be top also. Now they are no more, but they are 40 points right there. Let's take a break. We'll be right back to give you more of other stories from the international scenes and, of course, some of the local stories also here that still will be transpiring. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that break. Still Whistle Time live with Susie Linda, Owen Zaga, and of course the team behind the scene a lot, Jonathan Park and Amaku Boniface, giving you all, making sure that this works out. And wherever you're catching the show from, you can always be part of it. And for those who probably couldn't get us on, that is your screens, you can still watch from your phone, whether on the Facebook platform you just like, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and be part of it. You can be able to watch the Whistle Time anywhere you are, so that you be part of the West Nile television Whistle Time team as we light up the region wherever you are. Now, of course, coming back to the big story, of course, of the week, I should say, because 5 against 0 is a big number or a big margin, as Arsenal yesterday, of course, took Chelsea to Emirates FC Secondary School, maybe I should say. It was a nice game. I personally watched the game and took my time to analyze how this team, the current Arsenal team, I should say it's one of the best teams currently in the world, doing very, very good performance-wise. It's just that minor things that keep turning them off and on, but they're a very good team to see. Otherwise, I expected around 6+ goals yesterday. I even counted it. If only the names like Gabriel Jesus, the 2 Brazilians, Martinelli, could be so clinical, like the first players who came through, I would be expecting more goals to come for Arsenal Football Club. A very good side to say, and they have really shown to the world that it's not about what you talk, it's about what purpose you have, what goal you need to achieve. I should say it's a plus that Arsenal went out of the Champions League, which has given them enough time to concentrate. Yes, Arsenal is currently only in the English Premier League, and the focus stands there. You look at the style of play that the team came up with yesterday, you just see that this is a team that needs to win. I've always said, I can confess it again, the player I've always loved at Arsenal is Trossard. He is so clinical. If there's any player who has little chances and utilizes them, is Trossard. He always gets for you that chance and gets you the happiness. In 4 minutes, he was already making Arsenal smiling as it happened. But before maybe I give in my whole verdict of my whole analysis of how I saw the two teams, where did you see it failing with Chelsea Football Club? What advantage did Arsenal take from Chelsea to make sure that they went past Chelsea Football Club?
Chelsea, literally their biggest asset has been Cole Palmer, and this time around we did see him feature in for this very fixture, simply because in a press conference that actually went down on Monday, we saw Pochettino confirming that he picked an illness after the game they had with Manchester City and failed to beat Manchester City in there. So literally after that game, he did injury, but he fell ill, so he wouldn't feature in for the game yesterday. Those are some of the words that came through from the manager at Team Chelsea. We're talking about Pochettino in there. So literally to me, for the fact that I followed in that press conference, I knew without Palmer, Chelsea was completely finished, and they literally wouldn't even do anything against now a rejuvenated Arsenal, against a well organized Arsenal that literally now has all the focus, all Nova Energy turned into there is an English Premier League in there. And basically, it was quite a very good one for there is a team Arsenal at Emirates where we did see the Gunners move 3 points clear ahead of Liverpool. That has a game at hand today. I think that if they also win, we'll see Arsenal still, okay, it will depend on the number of goals the team Liverpool scores in the game that they have today. We saw Kai Havertz and Leandro Trossard, of course, doing in a huge magic for there is a team Arsenal with both banging in a brace in there. And then also White literally surprised me, by the way, yesterday in some of his performances that went through of a game against Chelsea last night.
Now, Arsenal went with their usual formation of 4-3-3 formation as a 4-2, of course, a 4-2-3 formation, 4-2-3-1 formation for that is the team of Chelsea as usual. But if you look at the rating of the players of Chelsea yesterday was really very low. First of all, the defense line was so porous, and for the defense line not to function, that means the midfielders did not do enough. Talk about Enzo Fernandez. He was not into the game. Caicedo tried his level best, but still things were not working the way he expected, or the way everybody expected from them. Mikhail Mudryk looked a little bit the star player for Chelsea, but later on, though, he was withdrawn because he tried one or two things to make sure that he gets in there. Madueke started the game. I feel some players are naturally to be substitute materials to come and put the icing sugar on the cake. That typical is Madueke. Yes, he tried his level best, but things did not work out. And Cody Gallagher. Now, I just saw a tweet of somebody funny about Jackson here of Chelsea. I think the last time I saw him against Man City, when he wasted those chances, I'm like, Chelsea is lacking striker that needs to be so clinical. And indeed, next season, if they don't get a clinical striker, they will still have the same challenge. So Chelsea's problem started from the midfield, and that's where Arsenal won at the midfield. Caicedo Caicedo and Enzo couldn't overturn the midfield partnership of Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, the creative midfielder I've loved all the time, and it's so dangerous for Arsenal ever since Mesut Ozil left, and you would say, okay, we have someone who could. Martin Odegaard is the guy who tried his level best to make. He made 2 assists for the team to get all those goals, but he is always the creativity comes from him and make sure. So Caicedo and Fernandez couldn't, because Enzo is more of an attacking midfielder. He loves always going offensive, but not knowing that now you're leaving pressure to Caicedo, who is alone in that deep line defense. The defensive midfield, so which affected them, by the way, because you have a pacey Bukayo Saka, you have at the other side Trossard, who is also so pacey. Then you have Kai Havertz, who very many Arsenal fans have never loved, but Mikel Arteta told them, this is the player that I want. And indeed, yesterday was so clinical. He got 2 goals for himself. We did see Odegaard also making the 2 assists. And then we saw an assist coming in from Declan Rice, where Ben White got a sweet goal. I think the goalkeeper was also, he was already frustrated. The star player there, very many, it was very hard to decide who was the star player for Arsenal. Havertz was good. You did see White being very good. Martin Odegaard was so superb. You saw Declan Rice performing, Trossard, but again, to me, it was Ben White who took for me the day as a star player, because he stopped Mikhail from moving all the way to make those crosses. And he also he got a yellow card for the team to make sure that he avoided a goal. He scored 2 goals. You see, that to me, he was the star player in the Arsenal team. But I think if this consistency continues, then there's a lot. Arsenal has now teams like Tottenham that you could see big. I think Everton, Manchester United. They're trying to see that things need to come in there. One of the teams that very many thought, no, it's going to be a hard one is Chelsea. They've walloped them 5. It was a sensational win that they got into the team, from the team, I mean. Then you are going to be proving them wrong, that they don't want the trophy. They need the trophy. But I think for Chelsea, no. They need to go back and go to the drawing board and see where exactly. Because if Palmer is not into the team today, that means you're lacking the whole creativity of the team. You're not seeing anything coming out. It's so challenging. So if they can work on that, I believe they are going to be there. But right now, they are, I should say, around 3 points, yeah, clear. Because clear, yes, behind Liverpool. I mean, in front of Liverpool after playing 34 games. Liverpool plays today. That means Arsenal. If you compare their rating, our goal-scoring rating this time around, it has surpassed of any other season that they have been playing, because 56 goals so far that they have scored means very huge. And last season they tried, but they couldn't reach to that. And this season they are trying to shock everyone and pushing it to the limit. So they are currently the best scorers in that is in the English Premier League, with 56 goals, as of course Liverpool follows them with 43, of course, of that is the goals. In fact, Man City with 44, and then 43 is Liverpool. Today we have English Premier League returning with, of course, a couple of games. But before that, Coppa Italia yesterday, semi-finals, was also on, with Juventus, the old ladies, going through to the finals after playing against Lazio. A game that ended 2-1. Lazio won the game, but of course on the aggregates, Juventus became, of course, the team that went through. Today, Wolverhampton Wanderers at 9:45. That means 15 minutes to 10 will be playing against Bournemouth. Then you have Crystal Palace taking on the team of Newcastle. As the Marseille derby will also be today. Everton will be welcoming Liverpool, a tricky one for Liverpool, as also Manchester United takes on Sheffield, of course, Sheffield United. That will also be right there. So those are some of the games that will be coming through for the teams that will be participating. And then there's Lorient taking on PSG, as also